Well, police brutality is back in the spotlight after this video surfaced from Denver, Colorado. The man to the left was talking on his cell phone while his friend was being detained by the Denver police. When one officer violently mauls the man, throws him to the ground, beats him, and eventually arrests him. The scene has created such an uproar, the mayor of Denver stepped in and is calling for a federal investigation into the incident. But what does it mean for police misconduct and how police officers are penalized for breaking the law? Earlier, I spoke with the founder of Survive and Thrive TV, George Heminger. I asked him what happens when the public doesn't have the videos to document cases of police brutality. And here's what he had to say.
In this case, we actually can see the video, and what the police are reporting don't coincide with what the video has if you're just a regular, American watching. So that is the question. If we are recording these incidents once in a while on video, what is happening in the Denver Police Department when we aren't catching it on video? That's the big question.
Well, George, what do you make about what's happening in Denver now? The mayor is stepping in. He seems to be disturbed about this video footage. Do you think that it will, kind of lay the groundwork for other cases that could involve police brutality in the future?
Well, this video is going viral. It's on the front page of Reddit. I wish the mainstream media would pick up more incidents like this. But I don't know if it's going to make a change. This type of anxiety towards police officers, especially in the Denver area, has been brewing for a while. If you just check the comments on some of the social media sites where this video is posted, you can see firsthand accounts of police abuse on a daily basis in Denver. But for the public safety official, for him not to fire these officers is a travesty. And the fact that one officer had a 3-day suspension and the other officer had 24 dock and pay, to me, is ludicrous.
So that's a great point that you bring up, because there have been plenty of cases where, I think Oscar Grant's case is the biggest one happening in the country, where on tape a police officer actually shoots Oscar Grant in the head, kills him, and now we're waiting the results of that trial. But, we've had plenty of times where police officers sometimes get away with these things. Do you think it's going to change how law enforcement will be penalized for committing these kind of crimes?
I think the only way that this is going to change is when the mainstream media networks start covering this more. Right now, it's a powder keg out there.
Well, why don't they cover it? What's the point? I don't understand why they don't cover things like this if, a lot of Americans are getting upset about incidents like these.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with having corporate sponsors and the fact that if you're painting the police officers in a negative light, maybe that's not perceived in a positive way to sell products to customers. I mean, that's the only thing I can see why they wouldn't cover something as newsworthy as this as police abuse, because everybody interacts with the police and you think that they are there to serve and protect us. But, police officers need to understand that they swear an oath to the Constitution, and the number one important factor they should provide in their job is constitutional protection for the citizens of this country. I think that's been lost.
Do you think it's going to change how Americans view police officers nowadays? I mean, you mentioned protect and serve as their motto, but do you think that's going to sort of skew the idea of your average American?
Well, I like police officers. I work with them locally, and I teach that on Survive and Thrive TV about working with local law enforcement to, protect the perimeter of your home. But the problem is there is a growing sentiment, especially online, of just anger towards police officers and police abuse. This is the perfect example. This gentleman that was talking on the phone did not need to be taken down that violently. The officer, by his own admission, hit him with a piece of metal wrapped in leather 9 times. The video speaks for itself. The video speaks for itself. This was totally unreasonable.
Well, it also brings into case John McKenna's issue when, that tape, we had video footage from the University of Maryland. Can you talk to us about, you mentioned not having this video footage. Should it be mandatory that incidents like these, the police stations release these images?
Of course they should release all video that they record to the public. The question is, citizens of this country are being camera recorded everywhere they turn, on the front of police cars, police department cameras on the street, even in private businesses were being filmed. But yet, there's a movement across this country to outlaw citizens taking their own video cameras and videotaping police officers during arrest. I think in Michigan, they're taking steps to make it illegal.
We have to wrap up the show now, George, but it was really good to have you. You're the founder of Survive and Thrive TV.